Good afternoon to all the participants. Welcome back for the third session of day 3. So we can hand over the session to Satya Narayan sir. He'll be continuing with the session 3. Sir, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. Okay, good afternoon to one and all. I hope everyone have been joined. So can you able to hear my voice, ma'am, clearly?
Yes, sir, it's audible.
Yeah, okay, ma'am, fine. So I hope few people have been joining now. Okay, so meanwhile we'll just try to join. So I'll just try to share my screen. Yeah, yeah. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, right. Thank you. So meanwhile, we'll just brush up the things like what we have done in the previous session. Okay, so we have just understood what exactly that hardware. So why we have to use the hardware. Okay, so then later part we have seen what is the advantages of using NI MIDAC. Okay, so over to like oscilloscope or function generator or the instruments whatever we are using in the lab. Okay, so these things we have seen, and moreover we have seen how we can able to connect the hardware. So if we have been connected, so where you can able to check whether the hardware is properly been detected. So you can use the NI Max application. Okay, so even we call that as a measurement and automation explorer. Okay, so here under devices and interfaces, you can just see whether your hardware will be able to connect. Okay, so all the details of the hardware where you can we have been seeing the test panels, how we can able to test whether all the channels have been working fine and good. Okay, so these are the things we have seen. So then later we have been just moved to the soft front panel, or we even call as instrument launcher. Okay, so here we have been seeing how we can able to work with digital part as well as analog with respect to function generator and oscilloscope, and even have seen some examples on the board app analyzer, how you can able to plot the things and how you can able to log or you can able to take the prints. Okay, so similarly we are having some different options that even you can go with the audio equalizer. Okay, so like how we'll be having an audio jack of 3.5 jack pins. Okay, so here you can able to see how you can able to control with respect to equalizer. I hope everyone knows with respect to equalizer, correct? So where you can able to change your settings like a volume, bass, midtone and treble. Okay, so these are the things where you can able to see. And moreover in the audio channels, okay, whenever you connected audio in, okay, through the audio jack cable, so and the other end will be connected either to your laptop or to your cell phone. Okay, so while you have been connected, okay, while you're just trying to play the song, okay, so as of now I'm not having any sort of the audio cable, but whenever you're trying to play the song, okay, you'll be having a two channels, right? Audio left and audio right. Okay, so maybe these two channels will be able to give up the sound. So here you can just see it is actually producing a very high sound, like a very high frequency. Okay, so where you can able to increase the bass. Now we can just see it's been some more like it's been reduced. Okay, when you're seeing as I increase the bass. Okay, so even the mid-tone and treble, so you can just see the changes, some sort of changes will be happening. So whenever you reduce the volume and increase the volume, you can just see the voltage level will be keep on varying. Okay, so similarly you can from the audio out you can connect to the earphones and you can able to hear the song whatever you're playing from the mobile. So that will be accessed from the NI hardware. Okay, so with respect to the samples, okay, so as soon as you just try to play the song, so by just keeping the constant volume, so here you can just try to vary the bass, midtone, and treble. So instead of varying from your cell phone, okay, means the NI has given the access that you can able to connect the external device to your the hardware, so and you can able to listen. Okay, so this is where the audio equalizer looks, and these are some of the applications. Okay, so what we call like applications, they can able to work. Okay, so I'll just click on stop. Okay, so similarly, so now what we'll do is, so here we have just seen some of few things like how to read and how to write digital IOs. Okay, so or the analog part. So now to this background, okay, the whatever the instruments now we are using. Okay, so to this background, we cannot able to see or view the code, what exactly they have been done. But instead, we can able to work with, by just changing the configuration of this, we'll be knowing, what exactly the output we are getting. Okay, so now what we'll be doing is, we'll be just try to configure our hardware from the lab view. Okay, so I hope everyone have been knowing about the lab view, and few people you have been worked on the lab view, correct? So now I'll just try to open the lab view. Okay, so as I told that I'm using a LabVIEW 2018 version. Okay, so for this here you need to be installed some set of softwares. Okay, so not all the softwares have been to be installed, but only the device software will be NI Elvis MX 18.0, and one more will be the NI DAC MX device driver 18.0. Okay, so these are the main two necessary device software. So if at all you want to work with the DAC to your LabVIEW, so it's must and should you have to install NI DAC MX device driver 18.0. So or else if you want to only work with respect to only this front panel, I don't want to work with the LabVIEW. If at all you are having this sort of the thing, so maybe you can just try to install NI Elvis MX 18.0. Okay, so I preferably tell, okay, if you try to install both, okay, so that will be well and good, so that you can able to access LabVIEW as well as the front panel, both. Okay, fine. So I'll just try to open the LabVIEW. Okay, so in LabVIEW, okay, so I want to work with the VI. Okay, so if you want to go with the VI, so we have to go for a file. Okay, so I'll just click on file. Here you have option called new VI. Okay, so if I click on a new VI, okay, so two windows will be opened. That is, one is the front panel and one will be the block diagram. Okay, so I hope few people have been not known what exactly these two does. Okay, just let me give you a brief idea about this. Okay, so what exactly this block diagram or what exactly this front panel does. Okay, so let me give you a simple ideas. Okay, so a block diagram part is nothing but where you will be dumping all the logical operations or logical functions will be always placed under the block diagram. Okay, so for example, if I just right click on the block diagram, you can just see you're having some few options, programming functions, we call this as. Okay, so the programming functions, like either it may be a structures or a numerics, a boolean. Okay, or if you want to go with a comparison, correct? So here, if you go for example, if you go for comparison, so under comparison, you're having a n number of functions. Okay, we call this all as a functions, where you're having like equal to, not equal to, greater or lesser. Okay, so if you want to compare any numbers or anything with respect to some part, okay, so here you will be going under the comparison. So similarly, if you go for a numeric, okay, so what all that comes under numeric. So here you can see can view about increment, decrement, add, subtract, okay, square root. You have a direct function without giving any formula. You can find out a square root of a number or the square of a number, or even though you can just see the reciprocal of any of the number. You're having some like a direct function. So here, what you have to do is, it's a very simple thing. So just click that, drag here. Okay, right click, go select any of the functions, just drag and drop. Okay, it's not, not totally difficult. Okay, it's a very simple method. So just directly right click and go drag and drop. Okay, that is what the LabVIEW, the specialty of the LabVIEW. So why? Because it's totally a graphical environment, so where you can able to view or watch or work with respect to a virtual environment. Okay, so this is with respect to block diagram, where you can able to dump the logical functions, or the logical part will be always done under the block diagram. The same thing if you come for the front panel. Okay, so in front panel, what is the use of a front panel is, actually speaking, front panel will be used for to guide the user interface. Okay, so I hope everyone knows about a user interface. What is a user interface, or we even call as a a UI. Okay, user interface. Okay, so what these things does is the same thing. I'll just right click on the front panel. You can just see the same labels have been there, like numeric, boolean, string, array, matrix. Okay, some different sort of the thing. Okay, so if I will just see what exactly this is. We'll just get into the numeric. So when you get into the numeric, you can just see you're having a numeric control, numeric indicator. Okay, so you're having vertical fill slide, horizontal fill slide. Okay, like you're having knob, dial, meter, or gauge. Okay, so let me take the gauge. Okay, so or else let me take the knob. Okay, so you can just see some different kind of things will be there over here. Okay, so similarly, if you go for a boolean, you're having the switches or LED. Okay, I hope you know what does exactly the boolean data type works. Okay, so similarly. Okay, so here also we are having the controls as well as the indicators, like input output, how we call. So in LabVIEW terms, we call this as the controls and indicators. Okay, so if you take a push button, okay, so it will be having a two state, either high or low. Okay, so similarly, if you want to represent that in an LED, okay, so high or low. So or even you can just change the color of this LED. So on color is green, and off color will be dark green. So if you right click on that and go to properties, here you can supposed to change the color, so whichever which is very necessary to you, okay, according to your application what you develop. Okay, so based on this, we call the front panel as a user interface, so where it can be developed and it can be checked. Okay, so based on the inputs, whatever you give, according to that you will be able to get a response like output. Okay, so those things will be controlled and measured in your front panel. Okay, so I repeat once again. So block diagram is nothing but where you can able to place your logical part. Okay, and the front panel is nothing but where you can able to control and measure the outputs according to the inputs what you are given. Okay, so this is what the basic environment of our LabVIEW. Okay, so and I hope you maybe observed here. So whatever the controls or indicators have been placed here, I hope you can just see it's now popping up some particular icon in the block diagram. Okay, so this is where so this is where the controls or indicators, where you can easily check which which indicators is respect to what, or which control is respective to what. Okay, so similarly. Okay, so why these things are being given here is nothing but, okay, so it's nothing but whatever the control you have been given. So based on the control, okay, so you have to be connect a wire. So it's very simple to connect a wire. So whenever you move to a particular bubble, okay, you can just directly connect a wire. Okay, so when you have been connected a wire, okay, so what I'll do, I'll just click on run continuously. So whenever you just turn on this boolean button, so you can just see your LED is turned on. Correct. So when I make it off, so it's off. Means based on the control what I am controlling here from the switch. Okay, accordingly you can able to get a result. Okay, so moreover here the same way, I'll take a knob. Okay, so I'll connect a knob to a gauge. Okay, so whenever I just click on, controlling from the knob, okay, you can just see your gauge is, responding according to the knob. Why? Because I've been, connected a wire directly to the knob to gauge. Okay, means here the data is passing through this wire. Okay, means a knob is my control. Okay, means the input, and gauge is my output. Same similarly here, boolean, it's a boolean is labeled as boolean is of control, and boolean 2 labeled is of indicator, means the output. Okay, so according to the input whatever you give, okay, so based on that the values will be passed accordingly via the wire. Okay, so it's very simple in LabVIEW that, no need of, giving any sort of a textual comment or textual programming language, correct? So no need of giving any comma or a full stop, etc, etc, correct? So it's very simple compared to any programming language. So this will be very much useful. Okay, and it's very, compact thing that everyone can able to understand. So even I can just say that even the school students also can able to understand these things. Okay, why? Because the presentation wise, it's, it's look very good. Okay, so and connecting or the programming or developing the application part also, it's very good. It's quite easy. Okay, so that's why, while if at all you are going with any sort of an industrial thing, it might be either developing or under testing. Okay, so very few, not only very few, it's much companies they are using a lab. Okay, so let me give you an example of Boeing. Okay, so actually speaking, Boeing is one of a company where it is an, manufacturer of the aircrafts, correct? So aeroplanes, either it may be passenger or some different kind of thing. Okay, so they are going to test their engine, or it might be any sort of controls or the things. Okay, via the lab. Okay, so even we call that as, the software tool called a test stand. Okay, using the LabVIEW, the test stand. Okay, so using the test stand software, they are going to test whether the engine or the controllers, whatever they have been using in the aircraft, has been working well and good. Okay, so why? Because each and every product whatever we are using in a daily life, so it will be undergone in the testing. Okay, so but whenever it comes under the, the very huge manufacturers. Okay, either it may be automotive or a defense. Okay, so obviously they will be working under the LabVIEW. So each and every companies will be having a, separate LabVIEW team. Okay, either it may be for developing or either it may be for testing. Okay, so here today what we are going to see is how you can able to work with the hardware, using the LabVIEW tool. Okay, so that is the thing we are going to watch it today. I hope everyone understood, the basic environment of the LabVIEW. Fine, it's good. Okay, so let me move to the next thing. Okay, so now how you can able to access the hardware. Okay, so hardware in the sense, like, as of now you have been, connected via the USB cable. Okay, so now how you can able to access, or how you can able to call the functions to the LabVIEW. Okay, so that will be very simple actually speaking. So whatever the logics that you have been made, okay, in the block diagram, so it will be always done under the block, in the block diagram under. So I'll just right click on the block diagram. Okay, so here I am having one option called the measurement IO. Okay, so if you go under the measurement IO, so here you will be having one option called NI DAC-MX. So these functions will be comes once whenever you have been updated or whenever you have been installed the driver software. Okay, so that's what I was telling you. You make sure that you have to install the driver software NI LVIS MX 18.0 or NI DAC-MX 18.0. Okay, means respective to version. If at all you are using LabVIEW 19, so make sure that you will be installing NI DAC-MX 19.0 or LVIS MX 19.0. Okay, as of now I'm using 18, so better to go with the 18 version. Okay, so here I'll be having one option called DAC assistant. Okay, so I'll just take a DAC assistant. If you see, I'm having a DAC assistant that it's holding in a hand symbol. Okay, so whenever I try to place, okay, it is asking me where I have to place. Correct. So at the same time, if I drag this towards my front panel, okay, so you can just see, you will be able to see the band symbol. Okay, the black color band symbol. Why? Because these are all the functions where you can able to only place under the block diagram, but not under the front panel. Why? Because front panel is only the user interface where you can able to give an input and expect the output. Okay, means only input and output can be given in the front panel, but not in the block diagram. So now what I'll do, I'll just try to place it under the block diagram. Okay, the DAC assistant. So once you placed it, okay, so you'll be able to get some sort of configuration settings. Okay, so I'll let it load for some time. Yeah. So whenever you just try to place, okay, so you're going to get a configuration window. So here, whether it is asking whether you want to acquire the signal or whether you want to generate the signal. Okay, so here the two things are being there while you are working with the MIDAC. Okay, so whether you are going to acquire or whether you want to generate. Okay, so now let me go like as a step by step. We'll just see what all the things you're having under acquire, and let me see what are the things you're having under generate. Okay, so first I'll just go under the acquire. Okay, sorry, first we'll go under the generate. First we'll just try to generate the signals. So later part will receive the same. Okay, so I'll generate the signals. Okay, so when you click under the generate signal, it will ask whether you want to deal with analog, counter, or digital. Why? Because we are having all these three options. So here what we are doing is, here we are just trying to configure the DAC in such a way that, so we have to guide in such a way to DAC saying that I am going in this path or I am going in this path. Okay, means either we are dealing with analog, or either we are dealing with digital, or either we are dealing with counter. So I have to give a proper specifications. Okay, so think that I'm dealing with digital as of now. So let me click on digital. In digital, it is asking whether you want to go with the line output or whether you want to go with port output. Okay, so line output, port output is nothing but like line output is nothing but each and every individual line, like starting from DAO0 to DAO7, you're having different sort of lines. Sorry, the 8 lines. Okay, so if at all you're using individual lines, so then you're supposed to go for a line port. If at all line output, so if at all you're using all the 8 lines at a time, okay, without leaving neglecting any other lines, if at all you're using all the 8 lines at a time, so it's better to go for a port output. Okay, so if at all you're using only 1 line, 2 line, or up to 7 lines, so maybe you can just go for line output. That's well and good. So now, as of now, I'm using only 1 or 2 ports, so I'll just go for a line output. So once you click on the line output, okay, so there you have been clearly specified, okay, I'm generating the signal under the digital. So with respect to line output, okay, so now it is asking me to select the device. So which device are you dealing? Okay, so since I told you that in under the NI Max, okay, so here NI MIDAC 1, so it is actually the simulated one. Okay, so that I suppose I should not supposed to use right now. Okay, so my actual DAC, the name is showing it as the MIDAC 2. Okay, so I'll have to select here as the MIDAC 2. So it'll come under MIDAC 2, and here it is asking whether you want to deal with which port, or sorry, the which line. Okay, so previously I was made a connection that line number 0 to line number 7. Okay, so there is no need that you have to always select more than one. So even though if you are necessary only with one, you can just go with the one, or if you want to select more than one, so you can just hold a control key and select any one of the line, like how we select usually in Excel or the Word. Okay, so same similarly. So based on your requirement, you have to just select here. Okay, so think I have been connected from line number 0 to line number 7 and line number 2 to line number 5. Okay, so I'll select both line number 2 and line number 0 by holding a control key. Fine. So I'll just click finish. Here I'm generating the signal. Generating in the sense I'm going to write the signal. Okay, so it means giving an input. Okay, so I'll just click finish. So once you have been click finish, okay, so one more properties will be coming here. So maybe here you can just check whether it's been working well and good by just clicking here and giving the run button. Okay, but actually speaking, here you won't check. This is somewhere like instant checking, like where you can whether to test your code is working good or not without getting any error. So if at all you are having an error, maybe you can just change the settings accordingly. Okay, so and here one more very important thing called the generation mode. So usually this will be there for analog as well as for digital. Okay, so as of now we are dealing with digital, so we are having 4 different options. Okay, so if at all you're working with digital, so it's always better recommended that to use one sample on demand. So whenever I come for the analog part, I'll be explaining the remaining things. Okay, so what exactly this one sample on demand? Okay, one sample on demand is, so whenever you're just trying to demand, means demand in the sense whenever you're changing your input accordingly. So based on it used to send only one sample for a one time. Okay, think that in digital you're having 2 states, correct? So high or low. Okay, so in while running the code, what you'll be doing is whenever your demand, so okay, I want demand that I want a switch to be high. Okay, so whenever you click on switch button as high, okay, so accordingly your LED will be glowing, correct? So means you are just trying to demand as a high, so accordingly you will be able to get the output. Okay, so in one sample, like you are demanding for a once, and accordingly you will be getting a result. Okay, so that is what the thing. So that's why it ask you people to use. Means the recommended to use the option as one sample on demand for digital especially. Okay, so after this completing, I'll just click OK. So after click on OK, so it will be showing that it used to build a VI. Okay, yeah, you can just see here building VI. Please wait. Means so whatever the configuration you have made, so inbuiltly it will going to develop a VI for you. Okay, that VI will cannot be seen actually. Why? Because it will be in a background. Okay, so that cannot be viewed. Why? Because there is a chances of the user can able to change the VI. Okay, so why? Because the configuration you have made will be different. So if at all you open that particular VA and if at all you changed any sort of a code or a wire, so then that will be a very difficult part. Okay, you cannot able to analyze. So instead, the code cannot be seen, but instead you can able to work with the same. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'll take 2 different switches. Okay, so maybe I'll take horizontal toggle. Okay, so and this is like on and off. So I'll place as switch 1. And label it as switch 2. Okay. So now I'm having 2 different switches. Okay, so but I'm having only one data. Okay, means this is where the data you are supposed to connect. So if at all you are trying to connect only one, so that will not be connected. Why? Because this data will be in terms of an array. So I hope everyone knows about array, correct? A set of collection of similar data types, correct? So here in LabVIEW, it is the data types. We are having some sort of different data types. Okay, like numeric, Boolean, string, integer. Okay, so we are having this sort of the data types. Like similarly, same as C, or like different sort of the programming languages. So here it basically stands on the color code whatever we use. Okay, so if I take the numeric control and numeric indicator for example, okay, so you can just see these things are there in the orange color. Okay, so similarly if you try to take a string control and string indicator, okay, so this will be there in terms of pink color. Okay, a boolean stands for a green color, numeric with respect to floating point, what we call as a double. Okay, so will be there in orange color, and the string will be there in a pink color. Okay, so why? Because since it's a graphical programming, so we have to look into that whatever the coloring codes that we do. Okay, so since we are dealing with the digital, okay, so always digital will comes under the boolean data type. Okay, so that's where here you can just see it, the data whatever you are given written is in green color. Okay, fine. So now I cannot directly connect both the switches. Okay, so since it is showing a broken wire, okay, and you cannot able to run the code. If you try to run the code, it is showing that you are having errors. So here one the functionality of a LabVIEW is, so until and unless you clear the error, you are not supposed to run the code. But in some different programming languages, what they are doing, so you can just try to compile first. Like you can run the code, so it will compile and it will be debug. Okay, so it will be keep on checking whether you are having any sort of error or anything is missing. So if it try to get any sort of a thing like one semicolon has been missed or one comma has been missed, okay, so if anything is there, then it will pop up throw error saying that you are having a error in line number so and so. Correct. But in LabVIEW, until and unless you clear the error, you cannot able to run. Means, so the debug is very easy in such a way that it won't be harm for your system. Correct. So if you just double click and it will show where exactly that error, and it will give the certain description. Okay, in untitled one you are having an error. So with two errors and warnings. So under block diagram you are having error. So you have this wire connects one or more data source, one error, and one more will be you have connected two terminals of different data types. Okay, so these are some of errors. How to overcome this? Okay, so for this what I'll do, I'll just try to delete this wire, select and delete. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just go for array. I'm having one option called the build array. Okay, I'll just try to place. So once you have been placed, so since it is having only a single input where I can able to connect, but you are having a one more switch, so no worries, you can just try to pull down and drag so that you will get a one more element. So if you want to add more than 2 to 3 switches, so you can able to add individually. So this build array, what it exactly does is, so it will in terms whatever the input you have given, so that input will be created as an array, then ultimately you will be getting a result in terms of an array. Okay, so as of now we are having only 2 input, so 2 input is more sufficient for me. So just collect the element. This is my switch 1 and this is my switch 2. Okay, so now this output of this build array will be connected to the DAC assistant, and now you can just see there is no errors. They can run the code. Okay, so now you have been generated and you have been generated, means my input is ready. Okay, then how you can able to check whether whenever you just press this device, so where you can able to check whether that particular switch is responding to where, correct? So for that what you are doing is we have to acquire the data. So now this is generating the signal. Generating the digital signal. Okay, so here where you are going to generate the digital signal. So next what I have to do, so after generating I have to acquire, correct? So now again, I'll just go right click, go to measurement IO, go for DAC MX, DAC Assistant, I'll place it here. So as soon as you place, you'll be able to get a pop-up saying whether you want to acquire or generate, correct? So now generation part is done. So now I'm going to acquire. So I'll just click on acquire. So in acquire also it will be asking whether you want to deal with analog input or analog output, okay, like counter input or digital input. So here right now I'm dealing with digital. Okay, I'll just click on digital. So here previously we have been selected line input. Okay, so I'll go with the same with the MyDAC 2. Okay, so here since I have told I have connected 2 wires. Okay, so what are the wires? From 0 I have been connected to pin number 7, and from 2 I am connected to pin number 5. Okay, so in generation what I did, so I have been selected pin number line number 0 and line number 2. Means from line number 0 and line number 2 I am generating the signal. So where for pin number 5 and pin number 7 will be acquire the signal whatever it's been generated, correct? So I'll just click on finish. Okay, here also the same thing, like one sample on demand, let it be as it is the acquisition mode. I'll just click OK. So once you click on OK, so it is tell you that please wait, we are building a VA for you. Okay, so once it is done, so here you need to connect an indicator. Okay, so here it is very simple. I'll just directly right click, create an indicator. Okay, so if you have been created an indicator, you can just see it will be in terms of an array. Practically speaking, this is in terms of an array. So where you can able to enlarge this. Yeah. So here you can just see you are having 8 different LEDs. Why? Because you are having 8 channels. Okay. So now what I'll do, I'll just try to run continuously. So whenever I turn on switch 1, okay, you can just see where exactly it is glowing, and the switch 2, you can just see it is glowing in some sort of, correct? So when I made it turn off, it is turning off. Can see, means in pin number 0 what I am doing, I am generating things. So here where your the second LED is glowing, so here where the pin number 2 I am just trying to generate, this is pin number 5, the first LED is pin number 5 and second LED is pin number 7. Okay, so what I did is, from this is where I have been connected to switch 1 to from DIO 0 to DIO 7. Okay, so now this is switch to where I have been connected to DIO pin number 2 to DIO pin number 5. Okay, so if I try to run continuously, you can just see if I give pin number DIO pin number 0, so DIO 7 is acquiring. Whenever you give DIO 2 as high, pin number 5 is acquiring. Okay, so now you can just see, sir, what is there in that. If you don't use this DAC assistant also, you can just do. Okay, so similarly you can just do it in actual physical LED. So if you have physical LED, you can just directly connect to it, and we can control from this lab view, and the physical LED whatever you have been connected to the hardware can able to be glowing. Okay, so now I'll just try to remove the MyDAC connection. Okay, so I'll make this both as low. Okay, and I'll stop. I'll just try to remove the MyDAC connection. Okay, now it's been totally disconnected. So now if I try to run, can you just see you're going to get a pop-up error. Okay, so what is error is a device identifier is invalid. Saying that means no other hardware has been connected you properly. Okay, so I'll just try to run once again. You can just see the device identifier is invalid. Why? Because I have not connected a MIDAC to my system. It is throwing me an error. Okay, so now I'll just try to connect this. Okay, now it's been connected. Fine. So now it's already detected now. Okay, so once you get a pop-up like this saying that your device is detected properly. Okay, so now if I try to run, you can just see you can able to get a result, but you are not at all getting any sort of error. Correct. So without using a hardware, okay, so you cannot able to work with respect to the thing. Why? Because we have been connected, we have been selected the channels. Okay, so we have been done everything, every configuration have been done under the MIDAC. Okay, so now if MIDAC is not been present, so that you cannot able to run your code. Got it? So let me know if your people are having any doubts with respect to this. Okay, so I label here, it as generate, not generating, acquiring the digital signal. Okay, so this is where you are going to generate the signals. Okay, and this is where you are going to acquire the signals back. Okay, so this is where the configuration and settings that you can be able to do in a lab. Means you can able to call the LabVIEW. Okay, in LabVIEW you can able to connect the hardware. So like you're able to control the hardware from the MIDAC whatever you are connecting. Okay, so now I hope you been understood with respect to digital. Okay, so similarly we'll just go for the analog. So if at all you are having any doubts, let me know, or else we'll just go for the further. Okay, I hope there is no doubt. Okay, and moreover, I'll be showing you, the one more thing in the same digital. I'll be controlling from this LabVIEW. Okay, so after controlling from this LabVIEW, I'll be just showing in digital writer. Okay, I'm not using a digital writer. Means from LabVIEW, I'm going to write. Okay, from this LabVIEW, I'm going to write. Fine. So from this digital reader, I'm going to read it. Okay, so I'll just show you how these things work. Okay, so in order to work with this digital reader, correct, so you have to make sure that you have to use a digital writer. Okay, like previously what you would, but here you can just see I'm using a front panel. Okay, and this instrument launcher, I'll just try to run this VI. Okay, so even I'll try to run in MIDAC 2. Okay, okay, so here it is saying that acquisition cannot be done twice at a time. Fine. So this have been deleted for time being. Okay. So now there will be no error. See, in the LabVIEW, I'm going to turn on the switch. Okay, just a second. Okay, so now the problem is what it is, asking is it is trying to reserve. Yeah. Okay, fine. So now here you can just see. Yeah. So I'm trying to control it here. Okay. So you can just see now. I'll turn on switch. Switch 1. So now in digital reader, you can just see pin number 7 is going high. Correct? Means why? Because I have been connected DAO 0 to DAO 7. Okay. So from DAO 0, I'm writing it from LabVIEW, and in this instrument launcher, I'm just trying to read. Okay. So that's what I know. Initially, I told you that whenever you try to install the device driver, okay, that means the DAC drivers. So better try to install a both, means NI DAC MX 18.0 and NI LVIS MX 18.0. Okay. So you can you're just observing here, correct? So NI LVIS MX is nothing but digital reader, and this LabVIEW front panel is of DAC MX. Okay. So now I'm controlling it from the DAC, and you can able to check the output here instantly without popping up any error. Okay. So similarly, if you can able to write from this instrument launcher, and you can able to read it from the LabVIEW, even that is also possible. Okay, so make sure that it can be done in any of the way that it can be able to understand very quickly to anyone. So that's what I was telling you, that even the school students also can able to understand this tool very easily. Okay, so just try to stop this both. Okay, means I'm developing the code in LabVIEW, and I'm just trying to check the output in digital reader, the instrument launcher. Here, no need to develop any code. Just simply I opened the digital reader, I selected a line, so selected a hardware, and just click on run. I am not developing any sort of a logic with respect to this digital reader. Okay, so these sort of the settings or the things can able to be done using the LabVIEW NI platform. Just close this. Okay, so I hope you have been understood how exactly this digital things will be worked under the lab. Okay, so similarly, now we'll just try to work with respect to the analog section. Okay, so I'll just take a new VI. So I'll just go to File, take a new VI. Okay, so go to Windows and place tile left and right option, so that it divides the screen and places side by side. Okay, so similarly here we are going to deal with the analog part. Okay, so as I told, that analog connection that have been already done. What is analog connection? AI 0 plus 2, AO 0, and one more thing is AI 0 minus 2, AGN. Okay, so this is what a wire connection that I have already made. Okay, so here with the same configuration, here we have to configure the things. Okay, so first I'll try to generate the signal. Okay, so no need of the generating signal. So instead we'll be just using the same function generator, whatever it's been already there. Okay, instead of creating the thing. Okay, but even I'll be just showing how to create. So first I'll just try to acquire. Okay, why? Because here I have already having a function generator that it can able to generate the functions, means the signals. Okay, so let it be as it is. So here what I'll do, I'll just try to generate the acquire the signal. Okay, so I'll go for a measurement IO. So in this measurement IO, I'll just go for NI DAC MX. So the NI DAC assistant. So I'll just place on the block diagram. So as soon as you place, you will get a pop-up. So in this, I'll be able to acquire the signals. Go to acquire. So right now I'm dealing with analog. I'll select analog. So yeah, here comes the point. So here you can just see you're having a voltage, temperature, stain, current, resistance, frequency, etc., etc. Okay. So but here always, but while using NI DAC, okay, NI my DAC, okay. So it's always better to go with the voltage. Why? Because this DAC, whatever the DAC what I'm using or I'm showing the demo, it cannot able to measure the temperature, stain, current, resistance, frequency, etc., etc. Why? Because this is actually the student version of the DAC, where it will be not having a much exposure. Okay, So they'll be just concentrating only on their academics, and they have been designed this hardware. But even though if you can able to measure the temperature, staying current resistance, okay. So but in an industrial hardwares, okay, where I have been told you that USB DAC or the C DAC, what you will be using, okay. So using these sort of compact DAC or chassis, these kind of things, modules, where you can able to measure the temperature, strain or current. Okay, as of now, I'll just go with the voltage. Okay, so my hardware is MIDAC 2. So I'll select the AI0. Why? Because I have been connected AI0 plus to AO0. So where AO0 is the channel where it's going to generate the signal, and AI0 plus is the channel where it will be acquire the signals. Okay, so I'll just click on finish. Yes. So here you can just see the acquisition mode as one sample on demand. Usually one sample on demand, it's better to always use for the digital section. Okay, for the digital part, it's always better to go with one sample on demand. And for the analog part, okay, it's always better to go with the N samples or the continuous samples. Okay, I'll just tell you the difference. And we'll be not at all using one sample HW time or hardware time. Why? Because in this hardware we are not having any sort of hardware timer. So and we'll be not at all using whenever you are going to deal with the industrial hardware. Okay, it's there you can able to use and you can able to explore the same. Okay, so I'll just tell you the difference between N samples and continuous samples. So N samples is nothing but here you're going to give how many samples that you want to read or you want to write. Okay, that is nothing but a N. Okay, N is nothing but a minus infinity to plus infinity. You can just give any sort of a number that you want to read. Okay, so continuous samples is nothing but it's been already fixed that if you want to acquire or if you want to generate a things, okay, so based on your hardware capability or the capacity, so based on that it will be working, means continuously. That is what the difference. Okay, so now I'll always prefer for analog will be the continuous samples. So once you have been given a continuous samples, here you have to specify what is the samples to read and what is the rate in hertz. Okay, so rate in hertz is the total time. Okay, like I'll just tell you what exactly this. A total number of hertz means total number of rate in hertz is nothing but where you can able to generate the signals in 1 second. Okay, in 1 second you're going to generate a 1 kilohertz. Okay, I'm just giving an example. So samples to read is, so in the same 1 second, how much samples do you want to read? Okay, so this actually comes on the formula called I think you already know the sampling theorem, correct? So fs is greater than or equal to 2fm. So always the message signal, whatever sampling frequency, should be always greater than the message signal, correct? So similarly here you're not giving that twice, but you can just see if at all you're not giving that twice, what's going to be happen. Okay, so the rate whatever I'm giving, I'm just trying to acquire 1 kilohertz with the samples to read as 100 samples in 1 second. So I'll just click OK. So here, since we are dealing with analog, so it will be always in terms of a waveform. Okay, so what I'll do in the front panel, you're having one option. Okay, so I created a while loop and kept inside. So it will ask whether you want to keep it inside and while loop. Okay, I'm sorry, it's deleted. So acquire the signal, analog, voltage, AI0, finish. So select as continuous samples, click OK. So whenever it gives as a continuous sample, so it will ask you that whether you want to place it inside a loop. Okay, the while loop. Okay, everyone know that the while loop will be run for the n number of times until and unless we give a stop, correct? So I'll just placed inside a while loop with the stop button. So now here what you do is we'll be just checking our output in a waveform graph. Okay, so this waveform graph will be placed in a front panel. So the same waveform graph will be connected here. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'll just try to place this function generator and my LabVIEW panel. Okay, so in function generator, I'm just trying to pass, the 100 Hz frequency with the sine wave. I'll just select the device and I'll try to run. So now it's running. So similarly, if I run here, you can just see your wave has been sine wave. Okay, so if you change the triangle here, so it is changing triangle. So if you are giving as a square, it is giving a square. So based on the frequency what you have been given, right? So if you give 100 Hertz, so it is showing as 100 with a sine wave. But I hope you can just see, is this a proper sine wave? Actually speaking, no. Okay, why? Because sine wave will be having a curve. Okay, whenever it's going to a peak to a particular level, and here, even though it is proper in giving a proper amplitude, like starting from 0 going to 0.5 to minus 0.5, means it is only a 1 node peak to peak, correct? So I hope 1 node peak to peak is nothing but both positive and negative will be considered as an 1 node peak to peak, correct? So here, so what I'll do is, so here I'm not getting the exact proper frequency, means exact sine wave. So since I turned off a generator, you can just see here no signals have been the generated. So I'll just stop this. Okay, so here what I'll do, so previously what was the settings have been done here, rate will be given as 1 kilohertz, and the samples to read as 100. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'll make this as a 500. So out of 1 kilohertz, I'm just trying to, previously I was reading only 100 samples. Now I want more samples to be read. Okay, I'll just change it as a 500. So now we'll just see how exactly sine wave looks. Was there any changes or no? Okay, so I'll just click on run here and start the function generator. Yeah, so now you can just see for 100 Hertz, you are having, you can able to collect more samples. Why? Because previously I have just given only 100 samples, but now I have been increased the samples, correct? So now I'll just try to reduce the frequency as 50 Hertz. Yeah. So now you can just see for the 50 Hertz, or maybe like I'll give it as a 10.1. Yeah. So now you can just see, you're getting, somewhere like to the similar to your sine wave, correct? So, but I'll not consider exactly this as a sine wave. Okay. So I'll just stop this. Okay. So I'll again go back to block diagram. I'll double click on this DAC assistant to open the property window. So once this is open, I'll again try to increase a thing called, the same 1K. Means whatever I'm writing in 1K, so I'm reading same back to the same 1K. So now we'll see whether we are getting actual sine wave or not. First, I'm going to run the function generator. Then I'm going to run the lab. Yeah. So now you can just see, this is where actually the proper, the sine wave. Okay. So if you change for triangle, you're getting a triangle. Change for square, getting a square. Means you can just see it is continuously keep on, plotting the signals. Okay. So that's where I told you that whenever you're trying to work with analog signals, so it's better to go with the continuous samples. So whenever you're going to work with digital signal, so it's better to go with the one sample on demand. Okay. So here one thing, one logic that we have been observed is, okay, so here, whatever the Nyquist theorem or sampling theorem, whatever we have been seeing, Fs is always greater than or equal to 2Fm. So actually speaking here, it is false in the lab. Why? Because here I am just giving a 1K. So 1K twice is nothing but somewhere like it comes around 200 samples to read. Okay, so if you twice that, you are not getting the proper output. Correct. So here, what in LabVIEW terms, okay, if you want to satisfy the sampling theorem or the Nyquist rate, always you have to give 10 times more the frequency whatever you are giving with respect to sampling frequency. Okay, that is what been given here. So here the rate you are giving it as a 1 kilohertz, and samples to read also are given as 1 kilohertz, so that to get a proper sine wave. Okay, so think that if I give only 200 samples here, okay, so 200 samples had been given, and we'll just try to check by giving the signal and try to acquire the same. We'll see what's going to be happening. So I'll run the function generator. Okay, so since we have given very low frequency, you're getting the proper sine wave. Think that I have given 100 hertz. Okay, yeah. Now you can just see. Okay, so is this a proper sine wave? No. Why? Because the proper sine wave will be not having any sort of edge, correct? So it should be in a proper bending. Okay, so even though if I given selected as a sine wave here, okay, so but I'm getting like this. Okay, so it's always better to go with a 10 times more, 10 times or greater than or 10 in LabVIEW in order to get a proper sampling. So I just make it as 1K. Yes. So if you run this, yes, you're having a more frequency that I try to reduce it for a 10.1. Yes, now you can just see it is easily bended. Okay, and you can easily tell that okay, it is an sine wave. Correct. So this is how where you can able to analyze the signals or where you can able to generate the signals. Okay, so in an easily format, so that even the students will be very much interested to learn. Okay, so why? Because let me take an example of some electronic subjects like signals and systems, okay, or control systems. Okay, the network analysis. Okay, so these sort of the theoretical subject student might feel very difficult. Why? Because so to understand them itself, it takes a lot of time. Okay, and one more thing, and there the concept wise they are learning theoretically. Okay, so trust me that okay, whatever the topics you have been doing in network analysis or signals and systems, anything, so that topic can able to be deployed in a lab. Okay, so that they can able to check by giving a different sort of things. Okay, maybe let me take example of a convolution or expansion of the signal. Okay, so lambda by 2, correct, or 2t by 2. So if at all you want to give certain sort of thing, they are manually calculating and they are giving. Okay, but they'll be not knowing what exactly if we give like this. Okay, whether the signal is getting like this. Okay, manually that cannot be done. Correct. So but programmatically or in the way like hardware part, if at all they are trying to learn, okay, so it will be very easy for them, and the concepts are very easy to understand. Okay, so but not exactly like in a practical way, but I'm so sorry, not exactly with respect to a theoretical way, but it is very easy to understand them in a practical manner. Okay, so this is where I can able to tell you that it is very important and very easy topics that where if at all you are using with the deploying the code in the lab terms. Okay, so let me know if you are having any doubts with respect to this digital, sorry, the analog or digital, anything. Okay, fine. So I hope no one are having a doubt. Okay, So now here I was just generating over there, and I was just asking you to show the show the results here. But now what I'll do, from the LabVIEW itself, I'll just try to generate, and we'll just check the result in the LabVIEW. Okay. So for that, what I'll be doing is, so again same the measurement IO, go to DAC-MX, take a DAC assistant. Okay. So in this, it is asking whether you want to acquire or generate. So now acquire has been done. Now I want to generate the signals with respect to analog and with respect to voltage. So here I have been connected to AO0. I click finish. Okay. So here let me select as a continuous samples. Okay. So let me write it as 100. Okay. Let me give it as a 1K itself. The same settings, whatever I have been acquiring. Okay. So here, how you can able to generate the signals. Okay. So I'll just right click, go to Express. In a block diagram, you have an option called Express when you right click. So here I'll just go for input. So in input, you are having option called simulate signal. Okay. So I'll be just using this simulate signal function. Okay. So what exactly this does is, okay, so based on the signal type, what we choose, like sine wave, square wave, triangle, or sawtooth. Okay. So based on this, you can give a frequency as well as amplitude with respect to the number of cycles. Okay. The same timing cycles, whatever we have been given. Okay. Just try to, generate the signal like how the function generator is doing. Same similarly here, this is somewhere like, it's simulating the signal. Okay. We are having these sort of options in LabVIEW. So where I'll just directly connect for this. Okay. So I'll just take one more graph. Okay. So I'll just give this as input graph and output graph. Just change the label. Okay. So now if I try to run, can just see this is the input graph. It's not changing, like it's keep on completely pushing the signals, and here you can just see it's keep on moving very slowly, the output graph. Okay, so there is no difference between the input and output, means whatever you are just trying to generate, okay, the same thing is going to be acquired in this output graph. Okay. So there is no changes, like only thing is here I used a simulated signal. Okay. So in this simulated signal, I have been connected to a DAC assistant. Okay. Where here they are going to be generating, and here where it's going to be acquiring with the output graph. Okay. So they are not connected here. Just try to connect. Yeah. Yes, you can just see this is where the input graph. Okay, sorry, previously I have not connected. Okay, so now you can just see both are being plotting at the same time at the same instance. Okay, maybe if I give this as a 1.5. The timing. Okay, so you can just see it is keep on plotting. Yeah, so you can just see at the same time with the same delay. So both input as well as output is being keep on plotting with the same amplitude and same frequency. Okay, so can just see keep on observing. Why? Because here the instance I am going to read only from 0 to 1. Why? Because for 1 second, I'm only for the 1 second I'm trying to write the signals and read the signals back. Whereas I can just see from 1 to 1.5, this is totally blank. So why? Because the instance whatever I've given to read the signal is only from 0 to 1, starting from time 0, ending to 1. Okay, so this is where you people have to be, understand the things where, and moreover, I'll be telling you what is that single-ended and differential-ended. I hope here now you have been traced output. So now what I'll do is I'll just try to remove the wire from AI0 minus to AGND. Okay, the second wire whatever I have been connected, right? So this AI0 minus to AGND, I just remove this wire. Okay, so if I try to run now, okay, yeah, so now you can just see I have been removed a ground wire. Okay, so now only wire is connected to DAC is AI0 plus to AO0. Okay, and AI0 minus to AGND is totally taken off. Okay, it's not there. So now you can just see, from input graph, it's going to be keep on plotting. Why? Because I have been connected a simulate signal. So using that simulate signal, it's keep on plotting. And you can see in the output graph, you're not at all getting, the proper sine wave. Instead, you are getting it as a noise. Okay, so I cannot able to trace this very properly. Okay, I'll just give it as a 0.5. Yeah. So now we can just see, is this the same? The input signal whatever you are given and output signal, no, it's not the same, it's totally a different. Okay, so why? Because so since analog input is of differential ended, so must and should AI0 minus should be given to A ground. Okay, so meanwhile running, I'll just try to connect for digital the A ground. I hope now you can just see a proper input. Yeah, correct. So just change the time instance to the same 1.5. Yeah. Now you can just see I have been connected A0 minus to AGND. Okay. So now you're going to get an exact wave. Okay. So this is where I can easily say that without connecting, without or not giving the importance to the analog ground. Okay. In the differential part, maybe we'll be unable to expect a proper results. Okay, so I hope this part is clear. Okay, so let me know if you people are having any doubts with respect to this, or how to configure, okay, or how to create a things. Okay, let me know, or else maybe we'll just move to our next topic. Okay, fine. So, okay, so now okay, so now we'll just try to configure the sensor. Okay, so I'm having one sensor of LM35, the temperature sensor. Okay, so I'll just try to connect for the hardware, and I would like to show you the output. Okay, what exactly these things will be doing. Okay, so I hope everyone have been seeing the LM35 sensor. Okay, so it is actually an analog sensor with having 3 pins. Okay, so this sensor, what it does, it used to generate some sort of the voltage. Okay, so that voltage will be converted in into a form of a temperature. Correct. So how these things can be able to see, we'll just try to see the thing. Okay, so since everyone knows that LM35 is a temperature sensor where you can able to measure the temperature. Okay, so it is having a 3 pin. So first pin will be is a VCC. Okay, so for that VCC I'm going to give it for 5 volt. Why? Because it's a 5 volt sensor. Okay, so similarly the second pin. Okay, the second pin will be for analog output. where you can able to measure the temperature, and the third pin will be connected to an ground. Okay, so must and should, I told you that I have to give for a ground. So I'm just trying to connect the sensor. Okay, so first pin I'll be connecting to the plus 5 volt of my MIDAC. This is where the sensor interfacing will be used. Okay, so and analog portion will be connected to AI 0 plus. Why? Because I'm trying to acquire the signal. So acquiring in the sense, so obviously I have to go for analog input. Okay, so and the last part will be connected to the AG, means the AGND ground pin. Okay, so I'll just make a note here. So I'll just take a new VI. So first pin given to plus 5 volt, means this is what a VCC. Okay, so next second pin will be given as signal. Okay, so this signal will be given to AI 0 plus, and third one, it is for ground. Okay, so this I'll be connecting to AGND, but one more connection is there. The same AI 0 minus will be given to the AGND, means it will be shorted. So why? Because if at all you are not giving a proper output, means the proper grounding connection, you have seen like what was, the problem will be a face. Okay, you will be not able to get a proper results. Okay, so that's why what I am doing, I'm just shorting the wires, and I'm just trying to give it for analog ground. Yes, I have been connected successfully. Fine. So now what I have to do is I have to make a code here. So what I have to do, I'll just go for measurement IO, go for a DAC MX, take DAC assistant. So here I'm not generating anything. So instead I am going to acquire the signal. So I'm going to acquire with respect to analog, with respect to voltage. Okay, so connected to AI 0. So here let me give it as a continuous samples and click OK. Okay, so now if I try to right click create an indicator, sorry, not graph. So maybe I'll just try to give it as a numeric indicator. Okay, I've given it as a numeric indicator. So I'll just try to run the code. Okay, so maybe you can just see you're getting some sort of the data, correct? So here this data, whatever the data you're getting, okay, will be in terms of the voltage. Why? Because since you are given 5 volt, okay, so the input voltage will be keep on flowing here. Okay, just a second. Yeah. So sorry, I was being connected a wrong wire. Okay. So now you are getting some sort of the data. Okay. So this is not accurate data like where you are going to deal here. So here, what I am doing is I'll be doing some conversion. Okay. So what conversion is? I'm just trying to multiply it by 100. Why? Because I'm getting like a 0.3372. Okay, so I'm just trying to create a constant with 100. Okay, and we'll be connecting to a data. Okay, so now I'll just try to run. Yeah, now I'm getting the actual the temperature like 32.7 or 32.6. So what I'll do, I'll just try to hold it very tightly in my hand so that it's going to increase the temperature. Can you just see? It's going to be increased gradually. Okay, so why? Because it can able to observe my body temperature. Okay, like 37 degree, 38, 39 degree. Okay, so I'll just hold some more tightly so that it reaches 40. Yeah, exactly. Correct. So it is trying to measure my body temperature, but not exactly, but to some thing. Okay, to some extent. Okay, now what I did, I just left my hand so that it reduces gradually. Yeah, maybe you can just see it is it was reached around 41. Okay, so now it is gradually decreasing and coming to around 35 and maybe like 34, 33, like that. Yeah, so now it came around 34. So initially it was around 33, correct? So now again, if I try to hold the same, okay, so it will increase gradually. Okay, yeah, not instantly, but it takes some time. Why? Because since we are dealing with analog, so now you can just see it is keep on increasing. Correct. So similarly, so if I try to remove the ground connection, okay, take example that I have been removed a ground connection. Can you just see it is giving some the random data. Now it is giving around 480, 481. Okay, so we can easily say that this is not at all the data. Okay, so why? Because we are not connected the ground connection. Ground connection is nothing but I have been just removed the fourth point. AI0 minus to AGND. I've just tried to remove that connection. Now you're getting some, the random data. So meanwhile, just try to connect the same. Yeah. So now I have been connected. You can just see you're getting, the proper data, 34 or 30, something. So if I hold the hand very tightly, okay, so it can able to read my body temperature. Okay, so here one thing you are supposed to understand is without giving the proper connection for the grounding, so no other sensor is works properly. So that is what the ultimate thing. Okay, so and moreover, okay, I would like to discuss you some few points. Okay, so like maybe some people will be having doubts how this can be used for the students or how it can be used for academics. Okay, so one thing that I have already discussed, that instead of using the four different sort of instrument like oscilloscope, function generator, a power supply, okay, and as well as a multimeter, so instead of investing for all those four different sort of a thing, okay, so maybe if you would have been spend only for this MIDAC hardware. Okay, so using and even though it does not contain some huge space. Okay, so it's very compact that you can even carry in in your pocket. So or if the students wants to demonstrate any of the projects, okay, so with respect to MIDAC, okay, it will be very useful. Okay, instead of comparing to all the four different sort of instruments. Okay, so having a single instrument with multiple functions will be much effective. Okay, so and even the students also will be much interested that they can able to learn, or they can able to work with the tool as well as the hardware, and they'll be having some sort of practical knowledge. Okay, so this is what I can able to represent you guys with respect to NI hardware. Right. So let me know if you people are having any doubts with respect to morning session or in this session. So maybe we'll just try to conclude the session. I think the time will be from 2 to 3:30, right, ma'am? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm audible to you?
Yeah. It's audible.
Yeah, 3:30, sir. Another 5 minutes you have. You can
Yeah.
end the session.
Yeah, ma'am. Maybe I can just ask if anyone are having a doubts, or maybe let me
Yeah,
check in
sure.
the chat. Yeah. So if anyone are having a doubts, let me know. So you can, or else either you can just post it in an chat box. Okay, with respect to any of the thing, like either it may be a morning session or even these things. So if anything is there, let me know so that I can able to assist you, or I can able to guide you.
I guess no doubt, sir. No response from participants.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you, and it was really a nice time. So you have coordinated both the sessions, which was really an interesting topic. So it was really a good session overall. Thank you so much, sir, for your coordination and support throughout the sessions of both the sessions of our STTP program. Thank you, sir. Thank you, all the participants. And tomorrow's it will be the link will be shared with you all. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you
Thanks.
everyone for attending the session. Thank you, Ananda.
Thanks.